response. Calling all available units. We have a missing child report at the corner of 1st and 2nd Avenue. Respond with emergency traffic.
This is The Missing, a show where you can make a difference.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Missing. I'm your host, Scott Davis, and I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Now in this episode of The Missing, we're going to be covering the cases of Haylee Donathan, a 3-year-old female missing out of Crestline, Ohio, who was last seen on May 28th with her mother and a sex offender that her mother befriended while he was behind bars. Police feel that Haylee is in danger. Also in this episode, we're going to be covering the case of Tremaine Peak, a young boy reported missing on June the 8th out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information on Tremaine, but we do have a photograph of him, and with a little bit of information, hopefully we can put something together and bring him home safely. He is allegedly abducted by an adult female. Now, we don't have a photograph or any information on this adult female, but hopefully the information that we have can bring Tremaine home safely. Also, I want to report that last week we covered the case of Nevaeh Buchanan. Over the past week, a body matching the description of Nevaeh was discovered in a riverbank not far from where Nevaeh was last seen. Police and investigators feel that this is the body of Nevaeh, and they're turning their investigation toward the people who may have done this heinous crime to this beautiful little child. Right now, her family is holding out for the DNA evidence to prove that this is the body of Nevaeh, and our prayers are extended to them and to the law enforcement agencies that are conducting the investigation into her case. If we have any updated information on her case, you can find it on our website at www.themissing.tv. Now I'm going to do something in this episode that I hope I don't have to do anytime soon. I'm dedicating this episode to a fallen officer, Deputy John Dishman from the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department in Crossville, Tennessee. I worked closely with John, and he was a very dear friend. He made a strong impact in our community over his 30 years plus in law enforcement. He made a definite impact in our department at the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, and he was a great family man. So I dedicate this episode of The Missing in the name of John Dishman and to his family. John, we're going to miss you. Now without further ado, let's get into the cases of Haylee and Tremaine here on The Missing. The Missing is brought to you in part by Quiznos of Crossville and Hughes Real Estate Services. The case of Haylee Donathan. Now this is the first type of case like this that I bring into your attention here on The Missing. The reason being is that it's kind of strange due to the fact that an Amber Alert has not been issued in Haylee's missing. But Crestline, Ohio Police Department feels that she's in extreme danger. The reason being is that allegedly her mother and her are traveling with a sexual offender. Now the focus is that we want to show you the picture of Haylee, give you the information we have about her disappearance, and we want to focus on bringing Haylee home. We'll let law enforcement deal with her mother and the alleged company that she's keeping, but we'll want to work here on The Missing and bringing her home safely. Now if you will, look at the photograph of Haylee. Haylee is 3 years old. She's 2 feet 5 inches tall and weighs approximately 37 pounds. She was last heard from on May 21st when her mother talked to Haylee's grandmother and said they were going on a camping trip. They have not been heard from since. At this point in time, when law enforcement puts out an issue that a child is in extreme danger, they want as much as help as they possibly can from you, not only our viewer, but the community. Again, if you will, look at this photograph. Listen to the information that we have provided to you here on the show, and visit our website at themissing.tv. There we'll have updated information on our case, we'll have photographs of her, and we'll have news links that you can go and read more about the alleged company that her mother's keeping and the story about her mother and her going camping. So if you will, take the opportunity and let's work together here on The Missing and bringing Haylee home safely. If you have any information on the Haylee Donathan case or you know of her whereabouts, please contact the Ohio U.S. Marshal's Office tip line at 1-866-492-6833. Well everyone, in that opening of the show I said we're going to be covering the case of Tremaine Peak. Well, good news. There's no reason for us to cover his case. Tremaine has been found alive in Germantown, Maryland. Law enforcement has the person in custody that allegedly took him, and they're working on that case, and he's going to be home safe. So I don't have any information to share with you beyond that, except he was found alive and he's brought home safely. But we will cover another case here on the episode and replace the Tremaine's case. But God bless the fact that he's alive, and we'll move forward with the next case. Our next case is disturbing, as most of the cases that we cover are. The case of Daisja Weaver. Daisja is a 9-month-old female child missing out of Dallas, Texas. She was allegedly abducted by an adult male out of an apartment complex there in Dallas. Right now, law enforcement is working with her mother and the father of the baby to put together a description of the alleged person who took her, as well as the information behind her being taken. I'm sorry that we don't have any more information to share with you, but if you've watched past episodes, sometimes we just have very little information. But all of us working together can use this information for good in bringing this child home safely. If you will, here's the photograph of Daisja. This is the only photograph that we have access to at this point. This is the same photograph that the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has, as well as with other media outlets using. I know it's hard to identify an infant at 9 months, but hopefully we have enough information. There's enough of us out there that we can put the information together and bring Daisja home safely. If there's any updated information, we'll have it on our website at themissing.tv. As I said earlier, Tremaine Peak was going to be one of our cases that we're going to cover in this episode, and while putting this episode together, I found out the information that he was recovered safely and he's going to be home safely, and the alleged suspect in his case is in custody and being questioned by police. But right now, Daisja Weaver needs our help and her family needs our help. So let's put the great efforts together that we have here on The Missing in locating this child and bringing her home safely. If you have any information in the Daisja Weaver case, or you know her whereabouts, please contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. Or you can contact the Dallas Police Department at 1-214-744-4444. Well, everyone, that brings a close to another episode of The Missing. I was happy to be able to bring you the happy information on Tremaine Peak's case. He's home safe, and it's just a wonderful feeling to be able to share that information with you. Unfortunately, we have 2 other children out there that need our help, Haylee Donathan and Daisja Weaver. Let's work together in bringing them home safely. As always, keep your children educated, keep them protected, and continue to watch The Missing. I'm your host, Scott Davis. God bless.